Good morning. It's a new day. I learned something yesterday. There is a discovery of a universal substance that's in everything and everywhere called plasma, and it has a consciousness. Does it have a good consciousness? I believe probably, but I've just been philosophizing all morning long, and I am it all gets back to the witchcraft thing. Witchcraft is it's good and it's bad. It's good for humans to know they have power. Christians don't want people to know they have power. So they hide everything in Jesus and say, Jesus, go do this for me. Where Jesus would rather them know their power. Jesus told us we would do greater things than he did. How can we do greater things than he did if he's the only one who's doing anything? And we're just sitting around asking Jesus to help us, asking Jesus to come and do this. That just never sat right with me, and I couldn't regurgitate those cliches anymore. And that's why I quit. But my goal, I didn't quit Jesus so much as I quit the determination that he would be the only person to ever do anything. Was he a person? He was a person. And he was a God. I'm using the name Jesus because that's one everybody relates to. The name that everybody relates to. But Yeshua is his real name. Anyway, he came to show us the way, the truth, and the life. And so was watching this podcast, and this girl has written this book. Her name is Dana something or other. She's a very cute, blonde, surfer girl kind of type, I would call her. She's like a surfer girl, tech wizard, and super knowledgeable about alchemy and all kinds of things. And she's really hugely smart. And but she acts like a surfer girl. And she's wrote a book about plasma, her experiences with plasma, and it's also a how-to book, how to use plasma. And then she gets into this, admits that it's more or less witchcraft. And then I get into the point where, okay, it's good for us to have power. It's good for us all to know our power. The problem with knowing our powers is that our characters have got to measure up and level up to the kind of character that deserves to have power. You know, we have good rulers and we have bad rulers. I remember when I was 10, the Iran thing was happening, and I didn't understand the story at the time when I was 10, but I remember it happening, how the king got kicked out, and Khamenei, the how you say it. We used to say it Khomeini. And in the 70s and the 80s, Khomeini, but it's Khamenei. The evil man who ordered the killing of the rioters and said he was going to get rid of our president, etc. I remember that happening, and we are good and bad. People need to learn how to do their witchcraft without hurting others. Witchcraft is, it's silly because it is under the assumption that there's a limited amount to gather up. Amount of what? Amount of anything? Say you're a purse maker and you make these beautiful leather purses and you only make 100 of them. But everybody wants one, but you only have enough to make 100. So people have got to resort to nefarious practices to get the purse that they want. You know? Maybe the universe could provide a better purse. And I don't know why I'm using this allegory about a purse, except that a long time ago when I was in the charismatic fundamentalist church, this woman told me that in Revelations it says that if we see something that we like, we can just take it, because that's what Christians are expecting to be able to do. And I wonder if they think that that's actually a greater thing than what Jesus did. But to me, that's coveting. And it's twisted. It's just twisted. The ultimate book of the Bible, talking about the ultimate existence of humanity, the ultimate happenings to create the new millennium where we walk in our power. And doggone if we can just take what we want from anybody. You know, who cares about the law of stealing? Thou shalt not steal. There's 2 commandments against that. Thou shalt not steal, and thou shalt not covet. You're not supposed to want what your neighbor has. You're supposed to, oh, I'm so happy that neighbor has that. I'm so happy they have that. Boy, that's an awesome purse. I'm going to find one just as good or better. You know, God will bless me with one just as good or better. But why? But no, witchcraft is no, that's my purse. I'm going to get that purse. That purse is mine. And it's silly. Silly. Because the universe is abundant. That we have all the purses in the world we're ever going to need. I mean, we have more than enough to go around, and we're creating more and more, and more and more and more, and we have enough. Can't you make yourself happy with something you can have without taking from another? Or I mean, but the idea of just taking, we can just take what we want. And that very verse in Revelations, and I suppose I have to go find it now to prove that it's there. But that verse right there justifies the secret societies, because that's what they've been doing for centuries. And these are questions that need to be answered. And I want to go talk about it with people, because the idea of awakening to our powers is a wonderful thing, but we need to awaken to the character that is able to utilize those powers for the sake of humanity, our highest good. And not everybody in the world is going to be awake to their powers. And so I suppose, along with the secret societies, they think that their mission was to put pressure on humankind so that the best will rise. And that's a secret society foundation right there. Well, we're going to put them in a pressure cooker and pressure cook humanity until the good ones rise up. And here we are awakening, and the good ones are rising. But how many are good, and how many are going to be left sitting on the couch watching TV? Because, I mean, if you're just sitting there watching TV, vicariously having a life, vicariously doing things, watching a movie, being an Avenger, you know, which Avenger do you relate to most? Who are you in the TV? Who are you in the screen? You know, isn't that silly? But that's exactly it. And if you don't have any desire more than that to become more, I mean, you can visualize yourself really becoming an Avenger and doing miraculous things with your physical body and saving the world, but we can do that. I'm not going to limit us. I'm not, don't look at me like I'm crazy, because I believe we are able to do anything we want. Okay, for instance, I've read there's a Buddhist monk that looks like he's 30, and he's like 70, 80, 100 years old now. But he looks 30 years old, and he's physically fit, and he's just, you know, and it's because in his mind, age does not exist. And I took that to use for myself. Okay, age does not exist. I don't want to age. So age does not exist. I'm just gonna pick an age that I want to look like, and that's what I'm gonna be. And I can govern over my body and call it out and tell every cell of my body to obey. I am the fire and beauty of my eyes, and I bring forth radiant energy into everything to which I look. And that is, I'm paraphrasing a quote from, Saint Germain. And yeah, Brian Scott, my favorite person, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. He's got a video, beautiful video, about beauty. Beauty's in the title of it, and beauty, and it's I am beautiful in every way, in thought, word, feeling, and form. And to talk to yourself and to talk to your body to obey you and to reflect to you who you truly are, that's a gift. That's a skill. It's a gift, and it's everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. okay? But I've got this sister who's older than me, but she wants to be better than me in every way. She doesn't want me to be better than her in any way. In every aspect of life, every facet, she can think she is better and I am. She's up here and I'm here. That's my sister. And she's an SS person. And so she can't stand to see me looking good. And I'm looking at myself. I think I do. I think I do look pretty good for my age. Age doesn't exist. I'm going to look the same age as I want to look for as long as I want to look it. And I have the capacity to utilize my mind to do that. Now, why does the woman have to come in here, get into my... See, I make my own lotions. I study herbs. I study herbal medicine, and I study all the time on that stuff. And so I make my own herbal tinctures, etc. And I watch YouTube a lot, and I kind of learn from that and make it up on my own and do my own little recipes. So nobody's got the recipe. But why does she have to come in and steal into the house while nobody's here and get into my things and take my hair and put a spell on my toothpaste because she doesn't want me to have healthy teeth? She's crazy. She is so narcissistic. It's pathetic. Now, that is a woman who has spent her life being trained by the SS. And she has no character. Her character is not worthy. Supposedly, she's the best. My sister has a master number. Her birth number is 33. But she can't be any smarter than that. You would think a master would know of the abundance. You would think a master would know that comparing herself to me is immature at the most. You would think a master would know that. And this is why I question our characters. Kudos to Dana for writing that book. It's an amazing book, but it has 666 pages. Now, that's neither here nor there, but it is a sign to some of us who are into numerology. 666 is the number of the beast. Did you know that a Bible has 66 books? And the number 6 is the number of man. And so I think that the Hebrews have numerology. That might be different from the other numerologies there are, but in one of the numerology, like the Kabbalah, is it the Kabbalah? Has numerology, and number 6 is the number for man. So you have 66 books in the Bible, and then you have the number 6 holding the Bible. That's 666. And so, But what 666 means is, I should have ended this video, started a new one, I'm sorry. 666 means that it insinuates completion of man within himself, without God, without the moral, ethical, principled body. So this girl's book on plasma, gosh, I need to get the name of it. Yeah, I'd like to promote it, but however, she actually said in the podcast that she's in love with witchcraft, and the veracity in her face as she says it, she's just licking her lips going, I'm going to do witchcraft with this, and I'm so great, I'm going to do witchcraft. But where do you turn when Christians think, well, it's great, I love that purse, I'm going to take it. I can take anything I want because Revelation says I can. I gotta know. What up, folks? What up? What can we do about this? I'm solutions oriented, but I hate it when I see a problem that I can't think of a solution for. I'm sorry for this long video. I should have cut it off, but I don't feel like editing. I never do. Screw it. Screw editing. Like and subscribe and help me make money. Thank you.